Ranger sold his wardrobe. The Lone Ranger sold his bad dog. Well, you saw him, and you can't hardly know, 'cause times change, I know.
On some days he's more than humble. On some days he's cold and mad, mad as hell. Well, you saw him, and you can't hardly know. It's so strange. Well, I know. Those lakes of golden water, those lakes of gold are all running out. Well, you saw him, and you can't hardly know. It's so strange. Well, I know. Joy, joy, joy. Work, work, work harder. Sure as the hours. Joy, joy, joy. Work, work, work harder.
Like before.
You say.
Fight the fight continues.
On some days he's more than humble. On some days he's cold and mad, mad as hell. Well, you saw him, and you can't hardly know. It's so strange. Well, I know. Those lakes of golden water, those lakes of gold are all running out. Well, you saw him, and you can't hardly know. It's so strange. Well, I know. Joy, joy, joy. Work, work, work harder. Sure as the hours. Joy, joy, joy. Work, work, work harder. You say. Joy, 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 work, work, work harder, sure as the hours. Joy, 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 work, work, work harder, you say.
Come along, join the fun, in a world where adventure is never done. Every corner we turn, a new friend in tow. It's time to start the magic on the Globus Show. It's time to learn and grow on the Globus Show. See the sights, so much to know. Across the lands, together we go. Hand in hand we join the flow. Discover wonders in the Globus Show, where every day's a brand new episode. start the magic on the Globus Show. It's time to learn and grow on the Globus Show. See the sights, so much to know across the land. Together we go, hand in hand we join the flow. Discover wonders in the Globus Show, where every day's a brand new episode on the Globus Show. It's time to learn and grow on the Globus Show.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What up, Twitch? What up, Jaeger? What up, Pharaoh? What up, Cosmic? What up, Tenacious Liege? What up, bots? What up, lurkers? What up, tiny people in my chatterino? Your boy. Back, 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 forth and forth. Let me see you go back, back, forth and forth. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday as much as you can on a Wednesday in the United States or wherever you're at. Oh, it's nice. I'm going to get a weekend off. It has been a minute since I had a weekend off for a variety of reasons. The wife was out of town and I had to do all the things, so I ended up having to work on weekends to make up for the days I needed off during the week. But I did miss y'all. I always miss y'all. We got a limited amount of time today. We will be back 6 minutes into Thursday. It's nice and quiet. Nice. I like it when it's quiet. Yeah, we're gonna do a stream Saturday evening. And then looks like Tuesday and Thursday again next week. So that's the confirmed schedule. Today, Saturday, the 28th and the 30th. It's almost November. Also, Jaeger, thanks for the subscription for 3 months so far. I appreciate you. And I'm glad you enjoyed the intro. The intro is all created with AI. The music is Suno. The dancing robot is Vigil. And the background is Vio. So, let's just get into it.
Who are you to wave your finger? You must have an out of your head. I hold deep in muddy waters. You practically raise the dread. You must have been so high. You must have been so high. Still borrow, reverse, savior, shaded inference. Yeah. Kangaroo done hung the juror with the innocent. Oh, now you're weaving shades of cozy and indigo. Got lemon juice up in your eye. When you pissed all over my black kettle, you must have been high. You must have been Who are you to wave your finger so full of it? Eyeballs deep in muddy waters, fucking hypocrite. Liar, lawyer, mirror, show me what's the difference. Kangaroo done hung the guilty with the innocent. Now you're weaving shades of cozy and indigo. Got lemon juice up in your eye. When you're pissed all over my black kettle, you must have been. So who are you to wave your finger? Who are you to wave your fatty fingers at me? You must have been out your mind. We've been shades of indigo, trapped without a reason.
What up, Jeff?
Liar, lawyer, mirror for ya. What's the difference? Kangaroo be stoned, he's guilty as the government. Now you're weeping shades of cozy and indigo. Got lemon juice up in your eye. Now when you're pissed all over my black kettle, you must have been eyeballs deep in muddy waters. Your balls deep in muddy waters. Ganja, please, you must have been out your mind.
I get it, Cosmic. And I appreciate the fact that you said it in that way, right? We've talked about that and you're doing an excellent job. Not for me, dog. That's totally cool. I, on the other hand, having been raised on 60s music, enjoy, if you are not aware, there is currently a deluge of AI soul, R&B, 60s Motown type covers on the YouTubes, and some of them are fantastic. Some of them are absolutely fantastic. That one, there are some technical issues with it, like some mispronunciations with the words, and it's like whatever. But that's one of my favorite Tool songs. So one of my favorite Tool songs, one of my favorite musical things is covers, and then I'm listening to a lot of these AI soul funk covers in the past couple of weeks. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. Shifting gears, give me a single reason why Sora 2 should exist, says Hankleston Green.
I got Sora. Somebody sent me an invite code. I downloaded Sora. And let me tell you, I've now scrolled Slop Talk. And anybody who scrolls Slop Talk for fun needs to re-examine how they interact with media. This isn't like an interesting place to spend time. There's so much good content on the internet. Like, I understand going from YouTube to a scrollable platform where all decision making is taken away from you and all you do is just sort of like plug in and zone out and things just happen to you for 2 hours. I don't like it as a person who experiences it all the time, but I understand it. Like, I get it. Whereas this is like pure fad, pure novelty. This is what they're spending their money on, their time on. They're like, okay, we have to figure out something. Plus the feature that ChatGPT now has where it'll give you like the pulse, where you open it up and it just like presents stuff for you. It's creating feeds very clearly so that eventually they can advertise to you. And if the business model of OpenAI is advertising, then it's nothing. Because the business model was supposed to be 40% of people lose their jobs and we do it for you at a fraction of the cost. And in that world, maybe it's worth $500 billion. In that,
I'm just trying to figure out where this all or nothing type argument comes from, right? Because, and we're going to get into this more as we go on, but as far as I can tell, what's actually happening over at OpenAI when it comes to their, revenue model, they're shotgunning, and whatever people, attach themselves to, then they're taking that money as well, right? Like that's what's happening. Not that, Sora 2 is free-ish. I haven't scrolled Slop Top. I haven't scrolled it. There's a lot of weird shit because I'm assuming it's because the algorithm isn't like fully developed. Yeah, they're testing and trying all the things, right? But it's just the people who make this argument that here's why are they doing this when they should be doing this? Like, aren't they doing both as far as I can tell?
world, maybe Nvidia is worth the entire pharmaceutical industry combined, maybe, but Nvidia is definitely not worth the entire pharmaceutical industry combined if the business model is making Slop Talk worse by putting slop advertisements into it. Also, I'm scrolling Martin Luther King Jr. going 6'7". Like, that's gotta be illegal somehow. Like, I'm pretty sure that you can't just do that. And if you trot out Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act and say, we didn't do that, the person
What up, Larry?
put in the prompt. It's not OpenAI's fault. We can't be held responsible for the content of our platform, even though our computers enabled its creation and also did the actual
Now, this is a what up, Night Loaded? This is a terrible argument. This is a terrible argument, right? This is an argument against anything that you might enjoy strictly because some other douchebag uses it in a way that they should nota. And fuck that noise. What up, Ribbons? Maybe we will see some truly interesting something truly interesting come out of it, like D&D streaming on Twitch, theater. Tim Berners-Lee would never have guessed. HTML and distributed computing became this. Yeah, and that's that's why I'm not interested in today's Sora 2 app. I'm interested in a month, 2 months, somewhere in the near future, as people begin to use the tool and figure out where the edges are and start to build within that framework, what do they come up with? Yeah, I mean, there are some guardrails. Like, I can't just use my image because I happen to look like an actual human being. And the only way that I can do that is to go on an Apple device and download the app there. And I can't do it on my old as fuck iPad because it needs to upload to the latest fucking thingwits. And if I do that, I'm worried I'm going to brick the fucking thing. So...
creation of turning a single sentence into that monstrosity. OpenAI launched a lawsuit
Why is... Now, it's not for... it's not for me, dog, right? But why is a short form video of Martin Luther King saying 6'7" a monstrosity?
into the world. The friction matters. How easy it is to do this stuff matters. Like if you have to sign up for a new account from some company that might be a front for the Russian mafia in order to get a deep fake of Barack Obama saying that he loves Donald Trump, that's just not going to happen that often. The new Sora, it seems designed to make videos that look believable. And then they put like a little watermark that's like extraordinarily easy to crop out. It's never in the middle. It's always...
It's not extraordinarily easy to crop out.
at the top or the bottom. This is a wild body.
It's not just at the top or the bottom. It moves. It's in the middle. It's all over the place. It's just incorrect, right? If you ever seen TikTok's thing will jump around. What up, Senator?
Cam video of a police officer arguing with a woman about her bear, and there's people I know who are like credible internet personalities commenting as if this is real content.
Then your credible internet personalities need to check themselves. It is so obviously AI. This goes back to when Kai Pewter sent me an image of this rainbow colored AI bird and said, how do I explain to my doorman that this is AI? And I'm like, look at it, right? Like, it's so obviously AI. It just looks like AI, right? It doesn't look real. And it doesn't look like it's not real in the way that, like, you know, something 140p or 720p or some older fucking, you know, internet shit kind of looks weird. It doesn't look like any of that. It has a very particular fucking look. And you just look at it and that's AI, right? This isn't it's hard to tell if it's obviously AI. The bear is like all...
The friction matters.
What up, Aswarp?
Sam! The extent to which these very powerful people feel no sense of responsibility to anything makes me feel like maybe they shouldn't have this much power. They shouldn't be in charge of the kind of thing that could literally, by their own admission, destroy humanity. If you're the kind of motherfucker who will create slop talk, you are not the kind of motherfucker who should...
What up, Hydrant? Ooh, I am enjoying the enthusiasm that Hank is putting out here. I do wonder if someone just compresses it and saves it at a lower resolution, if that will actually make it look more real. Yeah, and that's like, I've already seen some really interesting Sora videos where they created stuff designed to look like 1980s VHS tape. And so it had, like, you know, the weird static lines and the, you know, the numbers in the bottom corner and all that stuff. That's cool, you know? If you can get some consistent character design into that kind of thing, you could create your little found footage video and put it on the internet. King in the Boo Plane. I swear to God, it just needs someone who just slapped the phone out of his hand.
Be in charge of OpenAI. That's the end of the video. I have other things I need to do right now. One of the reasons I'm busy right now, by the way, I know that a lot of you don't know the whole story or anything, but
to be fair, Hydran, there is always the theoretical possibility, right? The old paperclip maximizer, and that there are serious people who have some kind of P doom, and it's valid and justified. Not tomorrow, right? The biggest problem with it is you don't know when it's going to come. There's not going to be a ramp up. It's just all of a sudden it's going to go from, relatively nothing to, the end of humanity.
We have aboard. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Resistance is futile.
Yo, what up, Emma? What up, Raiders? What up, fidgety fools around? Y'all in the Emma Graceless community have some of the most wonderful names. The Exeltox, I think, is what I went with, and I'm still going with. P Doom is my cooker watch channel. What up, X1011? What HTCPCP418? Welcome in, Emma. How are you? I hope you're enjoying married life. I hope your life is wonderful. I'm Globus the Elder. I talk about AI automation and today we're looking at some weird stuff, and then we're gonna talk about some more AI. We're gonna look at some shit where people have actually created stuff with AI, and maybe that will change someone's mind. What up, Ben? What up, Chella? What is this? Basis. And
you could you want him to do you so much you could do anything? Yeah, me neither. Have you ever had a dream that you
what is this microphone in the middle of the chest? Tell me.
you want him to do you so much you could do anything? Yeah, me.
The voice is really good. It does have a little bit of the artifacting and stuff like that, but yeah, right? It's the extra AI spice. There is something to be said, right? From as an internet archaeologist, right? As an internet archaeologist, what up, Digital? I enjoy the memes that live forever. And the reason that the memes live forever is that people take the meme and take it from old meme and make it new meme again, right? Yeah, y'all have some of y'all who have come over previously on raids have done like that one, and you've done the the little kid doing the thing about the dreaming and all that kind of stuff. It's old meme as new meme, and I love it. For Hank, I am going to enter this into evidence of one reason, a single reason, why Sora 2 should exist.
Everybody's talking about over 1,200 pages of real declassified documents, plus whimsical pop-up crayon. Hi, Billy Mays here with the Epstein Files, the explosive archive everybody's talking about. Over 1,200 pages of real declassified documents, plus whimsical pop-up crayon. Hi.
What up, Parkours?
Making YouTube videos for a long time with my brother over on the Vlogbrothers channel. We started in 2007, and there's this thing, it's called Pizzamas, where we go back to our old 2007 schedule for a couple of weeks and make videos every day. So that means not a lot of time for Hank's channel, which is why there hasn't been a lot of Hank's channel. Anyway, I'll probably come back eventually with something a little less fired off.
Not pointing a camera at anyone. Sora will grab B-roll while
Corey Neisat made a video.
we drive. Traffic, and you're supposed to be driving, not training an AI. It just makes video. I'm not pointing a camera at anyone. Sora will grab B-roll while we drive. Why not? It runs fine on my phone.
Is that crazy?
OpenAI, that is the ChatGPT people, they made a TikTok clone where every video is AI.
Like booting Sora right now, are you? Why not? It runs.
Introducing iPhone Micro, the most compact.
I just thought of something. Maybe it's only funny to me, but as the title of the stream says, there are people who like to say, or not says, implies, but like to, well, no, yeah, says, there are people who like to say that it's not real AI, right? It's not real AI. And, does that mean it's an I, right? Like I get all Grammarly on them. And if it's not AI, maybe it's an I. How about that?
You know that Sora has this
I'll shut up.
But the AI videos are all with real people. My analysis, we are so completely fucked.
Step away from the trunk for me. What have you got in the bag?
Stop! Drop the plaques!
They're mine! Put them down right now!
Come on, man! I was just borrowing them!
Husband, he made those! You can't do that!
Patrick, this place just goes on forever.
So it looks and it feels like TikTok, but all of the content is pure AI slop.
It doesn't look and feel like TikTok. Other than the fact that it's a vertical video platform and you can scroll on it. That is it. Right?
This is slop. And this is AI slop. Just an endless dribble of computer-generated nonsense that no one cares about. But here's what makes the slop different.
When I open up the YouTube app on my phone, there's a 50% chance that it's going to open onto YouTube Shorts and autoplay something. And I immediately click off of it because you need to know better. You need to fucking behave yourself.
And maybe more terrifying on the Sora app. When you first log into the app, you scan your face in like you do on an...
You can do this. This is not required.
iPhone for Face ID. Then you can actually put yourself...
What's a box of water, Jaeger? I'm more of a 50% guy. What up, Maddie? Campbell's chicken noodle soup, right? I like to take the Campbell's chicken noodle soup and half a can of water. Because I like to, one can again with water, yeah. But you should mix one box of water. And fuck, homie, I live near Canada, and they have bags of milk. So I would not be surprised if there was a box of water that existed somewhere. Fucking, I'm sorry, yes, there are better mac and cheese recipes in the world, but Kraft is a banger. What up, Misadventures and Astro? Welcome in.
In the slop. Casey as a 1970s F1 driver winning a race.
Can't believe it. We actually pulled it off. Winner of the Grand Prix, everyone!
But wait, there's more. I can tag my friends in my slop, and I can make slop of my friends or my friends and me or whoever, Casey chooses Colin in the bachelor dating game.
From the first day we met, I knew there was something different about you. Tonight, after everything we've shared, my heart's telling me where it belongs. I want you in my life.
Stock does come in a box. Yes, Maddie.
Will you accept this rose?
Are you serious?
What up, Brad?
From the first day we met, I knew there was something different
Look, I chose you in the bachelor.
Not Sean Penn, Casey Neistat. I see the resemblance, but no.
I love this. My heart's telling me where it belongs. I want you in my life. Will you accept this rose?
How much time are you guys spending on the Sora app?
Too much.
Too much.
Too much.
Way too much.
It's all I want to do.
And you don't think that like the
Now, here again is the dichotomy of users. I am on the Sora app, technically not at all, but like I'll count the desktop version as the Sora app as well. I am on a little, right? X1011, the homie, on the Sora app a lot. It's a lot of videos. I like the B-movie script arc that you're on. That's fun. Just because I don't like your stuff is not that I don't appreciate it. It has to do with I'm trying to figure out what I want my algorithm to be on the app, and so I'm not willy-nilly just liking things. Does that make sense, X1011?
AI slopness of it's gonna get boring.
No, I think it's only get better.
But you don't think people are gonna get sick of the fact that it's AI?
No. Because it's yourself. You're inserting yourself into anything. Like it's me being able to do everything I've wanted since I was a kid.
Oh man, what does this say for the future?
It's f***ing over.
Yeah, it's over.
So there are some obvious concerns like, you know, bullying. If kids use this to make videos of their friends without their consent, they misrepresent.
You can't do that. You cannot do that. You cannot make videos of lifelike human beings. Now, you can at somebody and add them to your video if they have uploaded their image, but apparently you can also take that permission away. So this concern that he's raising is not actually a concern.
Present their friends. You have people saying things they otherwise maybe wouldn't say. And when my wife first got the app, she typed in.
I disagree, Chef. I only like what I like on the algos and on YouTube. And my feed is pretty damn good. And I don't deal with a lot of fucking garbo, right? It's within the framework of stuff that I actually want to watch. Also, if you're a viewer on the channel, you've seen the Damien videos, right? The science fiction guy. I ended up subscribing to his YouTube channel, or joining his YouTube membership, or whatever the fuck they call it over there. $3 a month, and I get access to all his member videos, and I support his channel. And that's cool. Like, he's got some stuff in there that I've been enjoying watching. And $3 ain't bad, right? If Twitch, holy shit, you know, if subs were half as much as they are now, a lot more people would be subbed.
What would it look like if I got Botox?
Right, tiny poke right here.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of Botox going in.
Not bad at all. Look how big that needle.
Don't like it.
Tiny needle, quick pinch. A little pressure here, a little nervous but excited.
Now, she's a grown adult, so that's not that big of a deal. But when I think, like, what if...
It's not the idea of getting Botox. It was that needle going... It's still
Oh, sorry. But what would it look like if my 10-year-old daughter started asking the app to make videos of herself getting Botox. I mean, at minimum, that would freak her out.
No, it's body modification, and I don't give a shit, right? Like, if it's what you're into, then do your fucking thing. I really don't care.
Funny. Do you have like a funnel, like a kitchen funnel?
In the back, left side, all the way to the end.
Okay, thank you.
Nice. That's a nice
You don't have
selection
like
of
a
funnels.
huge funnel, do you? All right. But as a filmmaker or YouTuber storyteller, I have like maybe less obvious concerns about this app.
And I mean, to be fair, dude, you also have 12.6 million subscribers, and you have enough money. I assume he's in like New York, some large city, obviously, right? He's going and he's visiting markets in ethnic neighborhoods, right? Like it's a whole fucking thing. And then he's got this decent square footage for his like, workshop where he fucking does whatever it is that he does when he's not doing YouTube videos, right? Like, my man is not suffering. So, like, not all of us are going to be able to be Casey Neistat. The idea that you have a sign on your wall that says $13,288.86 left in a taxi. The fact that you could have left $13,000 in a taxi and not done everything possible to recover this money. Like, I would cry. If I lost $13,000 in a taxi, I would cry.
Filmmaker, it calls into question, like, so a funnel, the top part, the big part, is the total amount of content being made. And the bottom part, the little part, is the amount of good content being made. From the dawn of cinema...
Yes, 100%.
Until like 1980, it was really hard to make content.
Think making pictures is easy? Back in the 30s, it was a grind.
You needed the idea, an education, you needed money, you needed gear.
You needed an idea and gear. The money and education, you did not need those things. If you could somehow get your grubby little mitts on stuff, on gear, then you could do a whole lot of stuff. They have had cameras for quite some time. Right. I mean, if you want to get known, film was expensive as hell. All right, fair. And in the before 1980, 1980 is going to be VHS when the idea of making cinema was much more accessible.
Cameras weighed 100 pounds and hummed like jet engine.
Filmmaking expertise, you needed actors.
You don't need filmmaking expertise. The Blair Witch Project was a fucking phenomenon, and mad numbers of people went and watched that shit, and it didn't have filmmaking expertise.
Subjects, you needed a film crew, and you needed someone.
You don't need a film crew. You could do it on your own, even back, prior to 1980, right? So, if you go back far enough, but like in the 1970s, people were shooting home movies, right? With a home video camera that went chickadee, 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 right? Like, and this just, as far as I'm concerned, it goes to prove that you take some video and edit it properly and play a particular kind of music over it, and you can invoke a mood. What's in the video does not necessarily have to invoke the mood. Just the two things together, you know what I mean? I wear my Newsies cab backwards. Now you're on the trolley. I've never once forgot my megaphone. Rah rah, subsume ba.
Way to distribute it.
How did that movie ever get into theaters?
Because of all that, the amount of content being made was small.
A lot of really important movies were made then.
And the amount of good content being made was much smaller.
These kinds of movies rarely got made.
Then in the 80s, everybody had cable and a lot more stuff was being made, but the amount of good stuff being made still small. Then in the mid-2000s, a cataclysmic shift.
The video sharing website YouTube was invented and launched this very day.
YouTube meant not needing a ton of money, no film school. Most importantly, you didn't need distribution.
All it takes is a single click. Watch.
No crew, no expertise. You only needed an idea, something to record it on, and usually some people to help.
Yeah, he is, right? Like, maybe I'm being overly critical of his position, but he's annoying.
Ow! Charlie, that really hurt!
Then you throw TikTok in and you barely need anything to create. The top of the funnel got huge, but the quality of the content... Removing these friction points from filmmaking or content creation, it makes self-expression available to everyone, and I love that. But what happens when you remove the entire process? What happens when all you have to do is like type a couple words in from your bed in a dark room and click a button and it gives you a piece of video and then you...
I don't know that we would ever be able to find this information. This could be an unrecoverable data point. But I wonder what I don't even know, maybe not percentages. Like, obviously more stuff is being made. Let's confine it strictly to the visual medium, right? TV show type stuff, movie type stuff, video type stuff. A lot is being made, and always has been. A significantly smaller portion is good, right? Because good is entirely subjective, right? People thought Angry Orange was good content, and no. I just wonder, like, how far off of the percentages of people with access to the technology making content and the amount of good content that comes out of that introduction. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? You following me?
Share it, and then you do that 1,000 times a day. If all you have to do today is type those words into an app and click a button and it gives you a TikTok video in 1 second, then like YouTube can't be far behind where you just type in the YouTube video you want to see, you push the button and boom.
Okay, quit your job for $100,000. Last person off the island keeps it. Buy every seat on a plane, give away. Post, come on, post. Good. Next one, build the biggest vending.
Yeah, I mean, it's increasing. Like, the more people who have access to, you know, creating stuff, the increase in the carbon footprint, you know, just the access to YouTube increase the carbon footprint because of all the people uploading and playing stuff. And I'm confident that most of YouTube has not been seen by more than a handful of people, right? Like, you might have a video on your channel that you share with some of your friends, and maybe it's public, no one will ever see it, right? My best performing video of the robots dancing to mindful consumer or mindful solutionism Do 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 do.
2.5 million years ago, a friend of mine made a tool from a stone and defended his tribe. It's technology. Sorry for the technical term. It's a wheel, then a fire, and the rest is a blur. Throw a theorized.
My best performing video, 4.2 thousand views and only 200 likes. I have almost as many likes on this video as number of subscribers. You should subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is my favorite comment. Whoever made this understood the assignment. I made this. Stellar crossover. Didn't think Ace could slap any harder, but I was clearly wrong. No, I don't have a YouTube command. It's in the down there part. It shows up every once in a while, but here's a link to the video. You can subscribe to there. So yeah, you know, and like from a technical aspect, it's in the down there part. it's in the doobly-doo. From a technical aspect, I just took the video, I edited the beginning slightly so that I felt like it worked better, right? But it's basically, I just took the Boston Dynamics video and played it over Aesop Rock. And the beats just hit.
What's a resource local to the grotto? The method isn't free until the mechanism follow that technology.
Like, I didn't really plan for those footsteps to hit on that particular beep. I didn't do any of that shit. I am the minimist editor. Welcome back, Jaeger. It just worked. The entire thing just worked. Does that make it bad?
Innovate a difference, a feat of engineering, a system made efficient. There isn't a condition, complication, or revision where the answer ain't to build a more sophisticated widget. Idiot, tired of games, Bronze Age, Iron Age, weaponry in stellar form, shelter finer by the day. Livestock and vegetables and roads behind the hideaway. Mesopotamia out the motherfucking lion cage. If it's out of the bag, then it's out of the bag. If it's out of the bag, then it's out of the bag. If it's out of the bag, then it's out of the bag. Now that is a powerful cat.
Like, none of this was planned. It just happened. Jitua, welcome in. Hey, I just met you. This is crazy. Here's my number. Call me maybe. Thank you for the follow. Yeah. No, and Mesopotamia at the motherfucking lion cage is one of the best lines. I love Aesop Rock so much. I do love the sweet irony that the labor we devalue in workers is actually the most difficult thing for us to make robots do. Great dancing. Now go load the container at the dock for 12 hours or wash the dishes. Marks would laugh so hard. I am if we get to it, I don't know. It's already 7 o'clock and I'm going to have to wrap at 8 today. But maybe we'll do it on Saturday. The robot can wash the dishes. That's a spoiler alert. Yeah, but like there are things that are easy for humans to do that are difficult for the robots and AI to do. And there are things that are difficult for humans to do that are easy for the robots and AI. So like, when's the next School of Rock reunion? I wish I had Jack Black's money.
It gives away cars and...
How many years away from Netflix? You just type in like Jason Bourne moon landing and go.
Generating.
That's wild. What is the long term here? What does it look like when the funnel is so big?
Over the funnel, look at this thing. It looks like somebody dropped a giant stainless steel funnel.
I can't see.
What up, A-Fan?
There's so much just slop, and what does the bottom of the funnel become?
There's gold getting lost in slop.
Am I overthinking all this, or are we starting to turn a corner where...
Thank you to the Academy. Thank you so much. I also want to thank Slop. I love you, Slop.
And I don't know, I interact with this shit, and I interact with people more. Now, to be fair, I wasn't working a normie job, and I am now working a normie job. So, you know, that increases the amount of people that you interact with. But, like, the only reason I'm not hanging out with my friends like I normally do is that I have had to work on weekends at the time that they're hanging out together. But again, I'm glad to have a weekend off. And it's just like you can do both things. You can engage with the internet and go hang out with people. It's possible.
Slop starts to overwhelm or displace actual creativity.
It can't. It literally cannot. Slop cannot displace creativity. The only thing that can happen is that creativity is no longer valued such as it is by the people who pay people money to create stuff. What up, Elron? There's no IRL. There's only interweb. I like you cannot stop human creativity. And I am amazed by it almost every goddamn day. Sometimes I don't appreciate it, but it exists.
Behind me, you can probably see the banner. Mission accomplished. Under that, it says that Slop has emerged victorious over creativity, which I guess is what we were aiming for.
I hold the screen right in my hand. The moving picture stole your band. 1,000 pixels took your place.
Now, for those of you who stuck around from the raid, for those of you who have possibly never seen this stuff before, and for those of you who are here every time I stream, we've missed out on so much Kelly Bosch that we're just gonna watch like 4 or 5 of them in a row. And if you haven't seen a Kelly Bosch video before, this is the kind of stuff you can do with AI. Stampy, I don't know where the fuck Stampy. I think he's sleeping. It's raining here, and the cats get really sleepy when it rains. You know, which fair.
I'm so cool, and I'm loving my life. I love the things that I do, and I'm free. There's nothing better than this. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I'm cool, and I love my life. I love the things that I do, and I'm free. There's nothing better than this. That's the way it's supposed to be. I feel it all the time. It runs through my mind, and I just can't get enough. I can't get enough. It's always on my mind, and it feels so right. And I just can't get enough. I can't get enough. And I'm cool, and I love my life. I love the things that I do, and I'm free. There's nothing better than this. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I'm cool, and I love my life. I love the things that I do, and I'm free. There's nothing better than this. That's the way it's supposed to be. So come on.
And I feel like this is Kelly's like answer to people who give people who create with AI shit. Right? Who want you to feel bad because you are creating with the tool. And respect, Kelly.
Now, baby, come and dance with me, cause you and I both know that's the way it's supposed to be. So come on now, baby, come and dance with me, cause you and I both know that's the way it's supposed to be. And I'm cool, and I love my life, I love the things that I do. And I'm free. There's nothing better than this. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I'm cool. And I love my life. I love the things that I do.
Real art is when smash rock with other rock, Jaeger. Everything else is derivative.
And I'm free. There's nothing better than this. That's the way it's supposed to be.
100%, Astro. Like, I have never once stood between a critique of capitalism and a CEO of a tech company, right? I wish they did not control any of the fucking shit. It is the current state of play. They also control all this, right? Like, yeah, I'm talking to you on Twitch, which is owned by billionaire CEOs or whatever the fuck, and we're watching YouTube and the billionaire CEO. So like, it's billionaire CEOs all the way down, right? I know it's a typo, but it also isn't a typo. It's they're listening. What up, Leftist Corp? You're fine. This is There's No Place Like Home, Wizard of Oz inspired Suno, Midjourney, and Hailu. And that's the thing, Ben. You work 50, 60 hours a week at the job. And I'm not saying that you need to do this, but like someone works 50 to 60 hours a week at a job, and yeah, maybe they might could benefit from learning to draw or creating with some other tool or whatever. Or they could spend that time having the vision that they have in their head of a story that they want to tell manifested in front of them in the time that they actually have.
On the roof of the Emerald City, all those green bricks looking pretty, and she says, come away with me. And the clouds get together and plan an escape route, but I don't think I can go, 'cause there's no place like home. Instead, there's no place like home. Oh, no place like home. There's no place like home. Oh, no place like home.
I dropped a new one. It's 22 minutes, homie. Put it in Discord. Maybe we'll do it on Saturday.
In the cornfields, I met a young scarecrow, and he said, I'm an ordinary hero. As he weaved a nest for the crows, and he said, come away with me. And the crows got together and planned their escape route, but I don't think I can go, 'cause there's no place like home.
Didn't Socrates say something along those lines, Brad? Are you talking about, like, David Graeber's bullshit jobs? Where you just do stuff and, you know, because someone always has. I love the weird fashion shit that Kelly comes up with. Look like the kind of space you find after going through that Beetlejuice store. Yeah. That looked infected.
Not for the end, but for the hush between beginning, and it takes time, and it takes time, and it takes time, and it takes time.
Yeah, the surreal shit is my favorite shit that Kelly does.
And it takes time. It takes time. And it takes time.
And AI Pika keyframe video.
Is it too good to be true? I want this so much, but don't know if I can trust you. My mind is racing fast, trying to find the reflex I'm used to. All these green lights, are they coming too soon? Caught between red and the green and you. I'm stuck in the blue. You value how I'm feeling, how I'm doing, bringing my all into it. When it's said and done, will you do it? It's almost too good to be true. You move like sunlight through the dark, pulling the doubt out of favorite wonder. Every little thing.
Yeah, it's Suno.
Every sign's got me believing. No red lights left between us two. It's almost too good, but it's you.
Yeah, and that's why, like, when people say that, you know, like, AI is soulless or whatever, and everything people create with AI is bad or what, you're watching the wrong shit. You're watching literally the worst of it because you're watching the crap that other people make videos about. Right? Like, my algorithm's overwhelmed with AI slop, and we're going to watch all the AI slop that's overwhelming my algorithm. And it's like, maybe, maybe you should treat your algorithm with a little more respect.
There are rooms inside my skin, each one humming, a small machine of fear. I drink the air too quickly, and it whispers my name wrong. My pose folds into paper cranes, fluttering against the walls of thought. Every heartbeat is a confession. I didn't mean to write.
I saw from some person who had like the $200 OpenAI account. They made this robot cat ninja anime video of an extended length because they get more. It was so cool.
I hold my breath like currency. The clock stares, I'm blinking, a jealous god of seconds. I wanna melt into a softer element.
That is a criticism that I have of the Slop Talk app, is that it doesn't like have a history, so I could go back and look at it. The Max is top tier television, one of the best cartoons ever made. Just so fucking weird.
Something without edges, without needing to explain its shape. Anxiety, where's my perfume? It moves through me like silk catching fire. Beautiful, disobedient, it tells me I am alive, and then asks me why. The mirror tilts its head, pretending not to see me tremble. My thoughts bloom like dangerous flowers, opening teeth instead of petals. I water them anyway. Some nights I dance with my pulse, counting the shadows as they pass through me. There's a strange holiness in this trembling. A church with no walls, only breath. I close my eyes, but the mind has windows. Even sleep is a performance, and still I whisper to the dark, be gentle, I am there. Even sleep is my. I close my eyes, but the mind has windows. Even sleep is a performance, and still I whisper to the dark, be gentle.
That was fucking that was so good.
I'm learning how to stay.
Okay. So this person, AI director Dave Clark. This is their first Sora 2 short film.
This is northbound on the Dalton. I need help. Something's out here. Come on, come on. Anybody hear me?
All right, let's split up.
We can't stay here. If our family's made it out, they'll need us.
We already lost Tony, so keep your radios on. Something is out there.
Emergency broadcast. The Weather Service has advised us to stay indoors. The snow is blinding and unsafe for travel. Please stay alert and make sure you have enough water.
Hello?
We don't see any red semi. Let's head back.
Wait, what's that?
Oh, God.
That's all over the interior?
Mm-hmm. I hope to God no one's dealing with this shitstorm. God help them.
My husband Tony is still out there. Never charges his phone. Lord help him. He's fine.
My circuitry's 12 years out of date. I can't keep up with today's high-speed, top-of-the-line kids.
Jaeger, thanks for gifting one out to Read and Rap. I appreciate you very much, homie. What up, Biggie?
Lost the game to the devil himself, and he's come to collect.
Survival 2900 or 2900 or 2900, welcome in. Control W will optimize your brightness. Why would I want to optimize my brightness? Larry, do you think Shia eh? Do you think that I would follow the directions of a random chatter who just walked in and gave me advice of something to do on my computer? It's neat. I like the idea of a combination of like one of those weather type cataclysm movies and and then giant worms on top of it. Like what if Tremors, but the day after tomorrow? New fire ship about OpenAI's new browser.
Yesterday, OpenAI stepped into the web browser Thunderdome with the release of Atlas, their new AI-powered browser built around ChatGPT.
Only available on Mac OS. They are really... System 32? I must not need that, right? I have 64. What if I just add one to it, Ribbons? Is that how that works? I just rename the file. Hi, this is my first day on the internet. I love it. You get old, you grow a beard, and then people think this is like, oh, these nice kids on the internet, they're gonna teach me all their ways. I was here when all this was grass and cat videos.
And although I had anniversary plans, I imagine this is just how John Muir felt when he said, "The comments are calling and I must go." The idea for Atlas is pretty simple. Fork Chromium and Vibe add ChatGPT into it as an assistant that can see, remember, and help.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Only available on Mac OS. It's interesting. The Soar 2 app is only available on iOS at the moment. It may change in the future. And this is only available on Mac OS. And it feels like OpenAI is coming for Apple, right? There's blood in the water. Apple has not been able to put out an AI product. There's talk of this device, right? Like the next AI device that I see that's good will be the first. But here is OpenAI and Sam Altman and Johnny Ives trying to make an AI device like a new iPhone. It really feels like they're coming for Apple.
Help with anything you need. Like imagine you wanted to eat food. To do that, you'd usually have to go to the DoorDash app and go through the work of ordering it yourself like a prehistoric hunter-gatherer. But now with Atlas, you can just tell it exactly what you want to eat and it'll do the work for you. Augustus Gloop himself couldn't have designed a better experience. Of course, Atlas is only available on Mac, but thankfully, my neighbor is an unemployed JavaScript developer, so I was able to borrow his to check it out. It is October 22nd, 2025, and you're watching The Code Report. As a believer of the free and open web, there's nothing I'd enjoy more than to hear that OpenAI pushed Codex to its limits and built a new engine and browser from scratch. But like almost all new browsers lately, Atlas is just a fork of Chromium, Google's free and open source web browser. According to the keynote, OpenAI didn't want it to just feel like Chrome with ChatGPT bolted on. And after playing with it for a little bit, I can confidently say that's exactly how it feels. Sam Altman even told me they completely reinvented the way a browser is used. But I think the reality is that they mostly just copied Perplexity Comet. Despite that, there are still some cool parts to it. Because it can see everything you do, it's able to use your browsing history as context when you ask it questions. Now, I know that sounds like a horrible violation of your privacy, but you are able to control what it remembers and delete certain memories if you need to. And as you saw earlier with the DoorDash order, agent mode lets ChatGPT take actions on your behalf. It does feel a bit like watching a disabled pirate try to use a mouse for the first time, but as I told my wife on our honeymoon, the experience improves with practice. But of course, agentic-powered browsers don't have the best track record when it comes to privacy or security. Earlier this year, a team at Brave was able to successfully orchestrate a prompt injection in Perplexity's Comet AI browser by embedding malicious instructions inside of an image that would get triggered when a screenshot was taken of it and analyzed by the model. And that same team discovered that Fellow, which coins itself as the
that's just see, the reason why people are experiencing more and more like Mandela effect, Jaeger, is because every action that you take creates at least two universes, right? With the multiple worlds theory. And each universe has within it, based on its mass, a certain amount of gravity. And as you create more and more universes, you create more and more gravity, and they start to pull themselves together, right? And what happens is you're not actually experiencing a Mandela effect. You have simply crossed into one of these other universes, which is similar but different from the one that you previously came from. And the reason that you lost 10 minutes was that the universe that you just went into just happens to be 10 minutes behind, or 10 minutes ahead in the experience. So that you're like, and just like that, I created a conspiracy theory.
World's first agentic browser was also vulnerable to a prompt injection simply by instructing the model to visit a website with the malicious instructions. Because your browser usually contains highly sensitive cookies and data, the team at Brave's ultimate takeaway was that indirect prompt injection is not an isolated issue, but a systemic challenge facing the entire category of AI-powered browsers. It was Benjamin Franklin who famously said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." But old Benjamin Unbuttoned was always down for a good time, and I'm pretty sure even he'd be tempted to trade in his entire digital privacy and security for an easier way to order Taco Bell, like the new Flamin' Hot Colon Prolapser grilled cheese burrito, available for a limited time at participating US Taco Bell locations. But if you want to avoid this temptation altogether, another browser that's being worked on is Ladybird. Unlike the others, it's fully independent and recreating both the engine and browser from scratch without using code from any other existing browser. It's an incredibly ambitious project, but they just recently passed the 90% threshold on web platform tests, which makes them eligible to be an alternative browser engine on iOS. But though Ladybird doesn't have any AI aspirations, every developer and company out there is trying to build the next big AI product. But the hard truth is that your LLM is basically worthless without a good search engine, which is why you need to check out Melee Search, the sponsor of today's video.
I thought we were getting set up for a sales pitch for Ladybird, and instead I got slung over into this other thing.
It's a RESTful search API that understands user intent and returns relevant results in milliseconds. That means your app's AI features actually feel intelligent, instead of the typical vague AI slop. The search is hybrid, semantic, and multimodal, which allows it to pull rich context from any data type. And it has over 53,000 GitHub stars, with developers appreciating how you can drop it into any tech stack, and then instantly scale up to millions of searches. Try out Melee Search Cloud for free for 2 months using the code FIRESHIP at the link below. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
All right, what's next? Oh yeah, I recently watched someone say how like LLMs are, worthless. All the real AI stuff is being done. I'm paraphrasing, because it just kind of turns into noise for me. Done by the AIs that we can't touch. All the good stuff is like that. Maybe, or
researchers mapped a brain and even found regions that we didn't know existed before. If you thought that when they mapped a fly's brain that was impressive, you're looking at the most complex model ever generated. That is a mouse's brain, a mammalian brain. They found over 13,000 regions and even discovered some that were previously unknown. This used an AI. This is probably some of the better uses of AI. It is ChatGPT-like, but they even mapped cell-cell connections. We're talking about millions of minute connections and how they can.
Now, I'm not sure what ChatGPT-like means, but it sure as hell sounds like an LLM.
Communicate with each other to create a realistic model of a brain. There's a ridiculous number of ways that this could be used. It could be used for AI to create a network for which an AI operates.
What up,
It could
Rosa?
create true intelligence, creating a scale model of a brain to operate on. We do already know that neuromorphic AIs, the ones that are designed to act like our own brains, work better when they have lobes. Imagine mapping out an entire brain and operating from that framework. That is possible. That is one way, but I'm more excited about the concept of creating synthetic nerves and crafting that into a nervous system. Synthetic nerves that are so similar to our own that they can interface with them and operate in a biological environment. That, I think, is where true intelligence is going to come from, but I've been wrong before. This might be it. This kind of technology is also useful because it can create a virtual system for which you can explore experimentation without actually using a living creature. Of course, it's also very useful in medicine. We can map our own brains. We can understand our brains. We can understand connections or syndromes that we didn't even know existed before because apparently we weren't even aware that the domain existed before. This kind of progress is foundational. When something like this comes up, it's going to spur entire new fields. This is something that we couldn't have even dreamed would be possible a few short years ago. It's too much information. It's too complicated. AI is bad at a lot of things, but this is one thing it's good at, finding patterns faster than any person could have done. I guess it's also kind of good at convincing people it's sentient. But this could be the path to creating actual sentient AI, neuromorphic brain modeling. The reason that I think having physical neurons crafted into something that can do computation like our brains is going to be the real path to intelligence is because we know that neurons, even artificial ones, use less power than traditional computation. It takes an enormous amount of power to even be able to operate a computer to do regular LLM stuff. This is why people have touted brain organoids, so the tiny human brains you can grow in a literal jar if you want to, as the path forward, because
Speaking of,
it uses less power, much like our brains don't use all that much power relative. They do take up like 20% of the calories we eat in a day. If you have questions on why you feel so burnt out after working all day, there's actually good physiological reasons, but I don't have to talk about it here. So I don't think that simply modeling a brain is going to get us to real intelligence, not on a traditional computer system, even though it is possible. We have the largest neuromorphic computers in the world that only have about 1 million neurons. This model that they made for a mouse's brain has millions. Of course, it's not ready to be used as an AI, but it is, like I said, foundational. One question I would like to pose is if we could theoretically map our entire brains and create an AI that functions just like our brain, could you then take it farther than what a human is capable of? Could you create something that is more intelligent than a person? Of course, there is a long way to go before we get there, but I do wonder if it's possible. And if it's not possible now, will it be possible?
Just inserting myself in the conversation between X1011 and Jaeger. If I may make a recommendation. This is a punt gun. Punt guns are ridiculous. This is a real thing. This is a real thing that actually existed, and yeah. Humans are wild, dude. Humans are wild. What does a punt gun shoot? Oh yeah, it's a shotgun. An extremely large shotgun. Used in the 19th and 20th centuries for shooting large numbers of waterfowl for commercial harvesting operations. Very cool. Mm-mm-mm.
And of course, if you needed a fun fact, researchers have also found out that you learn foreign languages before you are born. If you are exposed to foreign languages prior to birth, you will have the same pathways activated when you hear that foreign language in addition to your parents. So you may have actually lost out on not being exposed to foreign languages, not just when you were a child, but prior to being a child, which is kind of lame, but it's interesting.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. AI.
New AI daily brief. Easy. Yeah, let's just do it. Well.
Companies have a set amount of computing power, and at the moment they are spending more of it on scaling up money-making stuff like browsers and video shorts than on scaling up frontier performance and IQ points. Hence the feeling among some of a slowdown in progress. And no hard feelings, you gotta make the investors some money, but as that
I understand. He got over it. You know how some people, they get on, they start streaming, they stream for a while, and then they leave and just never stream again. That's Stampy.
Is out, the story will shortly, hopefully, return to ramping up frontier intelligence. For example, when Gemini 3 comes out from...
I think I might need to remove the Stampy cam, right? Like, that's valuable real estate.
Google DeepMind expected in the next 2 months. But none of what I just said means that pretty juicy things aren't happening with our current language model horsepower. So I'm going to start with a novelty produced by a baby LLM. Then I'll get to a revealing remark from a top OpenAI researcher and end with some interesting bits that I found throughout this week. Let's start with a language model so often decried for their hallucinations, but one that actually is pushing science forward by learning the language of biology. Yes, the model does have a dodgy name, C2S scale, but it was able to generate a novel hypothesis for a drug to aid in cancer treatment. What I'm going to try and do is simplify the simplification of this 29-page paper. So here we go. When I say we have a language model that generated a novel hypothesis for a drug to aid in cancer,
and it's built on the Gemma family of open models, which are the free open source models you get from Google, right? They have Gemini and then they have Gemma. And it's only 27 billion parameters, which is very small.
Treatment. What I mean is it was a drug candidate that was not in the literature for being able to help in this way. This model, by the way, was based largely on the OpenWeight's Gemma 2 architecture from Google, released over a year ago. Gemma 3 has come out since. Gemma 4 is due anytime. So it's not the latest Gemma by any stretch. But anyway, this language model was given special doggy training, you can think of it, reinforcement learning rewards for accurately predicting how cells would react to drugs, especially regarding interferon. I know what you're thinking, but why would we do that though? Well, it's to make cold cancer tumors hot, in other words, to make them detectable by the immune system. Wait, so hold on, this is an LLM that can speak biology. Yes, and English too, like you could likely still chat to this model about football. Anyway, C2S scale turns each cell's gene activity into a short sentence, if you like. So a large language model can read biology like it does text. Slightly more technically,
again, a person in someone else's chat very confidently said that LLMs are worthless, that they're not good. I'm paraphrasing because I, again, can't remember exactly what.
It can find drugs that reliably amplify the effects of interferon, conditional on there already being some of it present, but just not quite enough. In other words, it learns to predict how the immune system will respond to a drug, a bit like how it might learn how an author will continue a sentence. Now, just quickly on the name, it's called C2S.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
Researchers.
Mm-mm. We didn't watch this video, but it seems relevant to what Raza and Rita are talking about. So real quick diversion.
Yes, it's possible to play a video game and physically feel it as though you were there with some really weird new technology. Also, a guy was able to control somebody else's body and feel through their hand. You guys ready to hear about the next generation of brain chips? This technology does come out of research around paralysis. When people are paralyzed, it's often because they've physically lost the connection between their spine and other parts of the body. Of course, we have seen with certain kinds of chips, you can bypass stuff like eyesight and just take a picture and send it to the rest of your brain, and it will believe that it's seeing it, because it's pretty much the same mechanism. Why not other sensations? Why not touch? And that's what this group did. This is Keith Thomas. He's paralyzed from the neck down. He had a procedure in which electrodes were placed in his brain. These electrodes have bidirectional flow, meaning they can also communicate with the brain in addition to doing what a lot of the technology we've seen so far does, which is reading the brain and sending that off. There's a computer interface that will need to read the recordings and send them back. This technique is very similar to what's being done with brain organoids, how they bidirectionally communicate between.
Why would we research brain organoids? It seems like it's a terrible thing to do. What up, fundamentally broken? That's cool. I hope that that's an accurate statement. Don't take offense. You know, it's the internet. You could be a person who used to work there, and you could be someone just posting in chat just so that you understand. But if you did, and that's a true statement, then that's super awesome.
Grown brains and use them for computation. The electrodes record what the brain is going to be doing when it thinks about moving or touching. It can also take information from other people who have functional nervous systems and also record what it should look like. And then they zap the brain and it feels like he is touching something. You can use this to control an avatar, meaning it could control a computer game character, and as they touch stuff, it's zapping your brain so you feel it. And yes, it worked to control another person. A woman who is able-bodied has the same electrodes that's used to record information for the body attached to her arm. Meanwhile, our friend with the brain chip is then thinking about moving the hand so it can grasp something like a ball. He's able to stimulate her arm to move and grasp with electrical impulses, and then he can feel the sensation that she is feeling, essentially, because it's encoded, zapped back into his brain, and the sensors are perceiving that touch. I know, incredibly wild. This could and probably will be used for video games, although it's a wee bit invasive. It is, of course, the first time that a brain chip has been able to take in information and give it back. So,
Old Lobster, first of all, what up? Second of all, I was about to ask Leftist Corp if this would count as the robusty that they were looking for.
Music to your brain is apparently not out of the question. This also has a lot of applications for recovery from injury, not just getting around injury. Learning to use your body again can be very difficult when you're in the recovery process, and this could provide sensation so people can get used to using a limb. This could easily allow prosthetics to have actual sensation and control directly in the brain, which is awesome. This actually would be the situation where you could have a prosthetic hand, take it off, and have it run around. That would be far more feasible with this kind of tech. This is something that I love to see. It's technology that will definitely change people's lives. And yes, it will be used in entertainment, of course, but this is a serious quality of life upgrade. I haven't been excited for brain chips in a long time because I have never seen something like this. One of the big flaws with brain chips is that they're generally not bidirectional. So a lot of the stuff that you can get out of one could also be done by an EEG that's not invasive. I have read some papers recently about non-invasive options for that bidirectional flow, but nothing like this. We're talking MRI kind of technology, and it's not going to be able to give a sensation. This really is a massive leap forward, and I'm excited to see where it goes. How about you? Yes, it's possible to play a video game and physically feel it.
That was not what I intended.
Scale, and the authors say scaling the model to 27 billion parameters yields consistent improvements. In case you're not aware, that's still easily 5 or 10 times smaller than the models some of us will work with every day. I totally get that there are going to be cynics in the audience, but this is not like those GPT-5 surfacing existing breakthroughs stories. If you don't know about that controversy, I won't bore you with it, but this is quite different. The drug candidate, which I'm going to butcher, silmitasertib, was
not yet, Maddie, but I will be.
Not linked anywhere in the literature for having this capacity. As the authors write, this highlights that the model was generating a new testable hypothesis and not just repeating known facts. Even better, by the way, you're probably wondering, it worked on human cells in a dish. AKA, the model's in silico prediction was confirmed multiple times in vitro, in the lab. Obviously, I do have to clarify at this point though, that it wasn't confirmed on actual human beings. That, alas, will take years and years of testing, as is the way in medicine. But before we leave this story, just imagine with me for a moment this drug being used in concert with others for more effective cancer treatment in just a few years, directly inspired by a language model. That's wild. As the paper's authors say, this result also provides a blueprint for a new kind of biological discovery. Now, just as I am filming this video, I have noticed that Google has published this story in Nature on quantum computing. And some of you may have thought that the video's title was about that. But note that
Spectrophonic. What up, Scholarly Potato? Yes. CS2, which is cell to sentence, is a model that can apparently generate at least one novel cancer treatment.
they say that it's paving a path towards potential future uses in drug discovery. That's incredible, and that's all going to change the world in the coming decades. But this C2S is pretty remarkable right now. Just remember these stories when people say that LLMs will not accelerate science. Now, it would be pretty lazy of me to just write the narrative that this shows that OpenAI is falling further behind, especially when you get reports that Gemini 2.5 DeepThink has just hit record performance on frontier math. That's pretty much the hardest benchmark around for mathematics. But actually, on raw intelligence,
if I said CS2, I apologize. It's C2S.
I don't think OpenAI is that far behind. And I don't just mean on, for example, my own benchmark, Simple Bench, where I finally got around to testing GPT-5 Pro and it snuck in just under Gemini 2.5 Pro. I know you guys would want me to test DeepThink, but there's no API for that. So for now, you've got this comparison. If you don't know, Simple Bench is about testing the question behind the question, kind of like trick questions, you could think of it, with some spatiotemporal questions thrown in. No, I mean, I think I've spent over 100 hours testing GPT-5 within Codex, and it's just frankly better than any of the alternatives. Definitely compared to those from Google, and yes, even compared to the brand new Claude Code. I do love how you can use Claude Code on your mobile. I think that's epic. Thank you, Anthropic. But it wasn't just that on one of the first queries I had for Claude Code, it attempted to delete a key section of code completely randomly. That's of course just anecdotal. I mean, you could get the outputs from Claude Code, ask about it in GPT-5 Codex, and vice versa. And far, far more often, Claude Code will say, oh yeah, I'm wrong, sorry, Codex is right. And that is borne out in testing too. And remember, coding is Anthropic's specialty, so OpenAI are really cooking with Codex. That's what I mean when I call OpenAI a beast that is currently choosing to spend its set amount of compute on money-making activities like Sora. Now, I'll come back to Sora in a moment, but it's time for the second story that I found really interesting in the last few days that I think many people missed. And the story isn't just that we got a paper.
Big if true. True, Scholarly Potato. I love when I fire up a Paradox game and it sounds like there's a jet engine happening in my room. Sora 2 can solve questions from LLM benchmarks despite being a video model. We tested SOAR 2 on a small subset of GPQA questions, and it scored 55% compared to GPT-5's score of 72%. Now, that doesn't sound that impressive, other than the fact of, okay, so there's a thing that exists, and you can put a question into it, and it will create a video giving you an answer to the question accurately about half the time. Vaguely.
Let's do that. First, we import React and React DOM. Then we make a tiny component called app that returns a div with our text in it. In JavaScript, we could just call console.log, but everyone tells me to use React these days, so let's do that. First, we import React and React DOM. Then we make a tiny component called app that returns a div with our text in it. In JavaScript, we could just call console.log, but everyone tells me to use React.
If there wasn't like the beginning of the video where he starts writing on the board, like, I'm not sure where this video begins and ends. Half the time is in 50% time needed, or write only 50% of the time. Write only 50% of the time. But even then, right? It's like finding out your vacuum can make sandwiches. Half the time, right? Might get a sandwich, might get a mess, but potential sandwich.
Few days that I think many people missed. And the story isn't just that we got a paper by a bunch of famous AI authors proposing a final conclusive
Okay, Hong Kong Baptist University is kind of wild.
Definition of AGI. I say with a rising tone because I don't think it is actually a conclusive definition of AGI, but no, that isn't quite the story, though it's part of it. The story comes with a link from this paper to something that a top OpenAI researcher recently revealed. But first, what's this paper? Well, basically, it's an answer to what many of you have asked for a long, long time, which is giving a definition of AGI. And the big anchor that the paper proposes is this theory of cognitive capacity, the Cattle-Horn-Carroll theory. It's called the most empirically validated model of human cognition. So they basically take what has been proven to assess human cognition and then apply it to models. One of the big headlines is that the resulting AGI scores are GPT-4 at 27%.
Yeah, if you're gonna, right, Brad? If you're gonna, the bathtub, thank you, right? Easy cleanup, right?
GPT-5 at 58%. Kind of makes it sound like just with the same architecture going up to GPT-6 or 7, you'd get to AGI, but that's not what the paper says. The theory breaks cognition down into 10 discrete categories that have survived as factors of cognition for over a century of research. They do not, by the way, include physical dexterity, so that's one huge caveat. Each category is given an equal 10% weighting on the AGI score out of 100. So for example, reaction time is treated as equally important to general knowledge. So we have general knowledge, and it's definitely true that models know a lot more than they used to. Reading ability, I think it's pretty fair to say models have come a long way. Maths ability, well, we just saw how Gemini DeepThink is breaking records on frontier math benchmarks. On-the-spot reasoning is a bit more hazy. It's kind of a bit like a mix of simple bench and a traditional IQ test and a bit of theory of mind, and they give it 7%. Not sure about that. What I mean by that is that there are so many different ways of testing induction, like ArcAGI 1, which yields amazing scores for GPT-5, and then ArcAGI 3, where it performs terribly. Traditional theory of mind, in which the models ace those tests, but then perturbed, where you just change a few words and they fall right down. Then there's working memory and long-term memory storage, and that's where things get really weird. Language models can't remember things, or at least they can if they're within the context of the conversation, but not beyond that. They don't continually learn things on the job, as it were, and that's the key point I'm going to come back to with a quote from OpenAI. Then there's a metric on hallucinations, which again is quite hard to pin down, and
honestly, I have no mouth and I'm a scream is like, is it, you know, the original Rocco's Basilisk, and I don't understand why a all-powerful entity would do such a thing.
Visual processing. That is rapidly improving, as you might have seen with the recent DeepSeek paper. Rounding things out, we have listening ability and reaction time, essentially speed. Don't know about you, but models can in general do things much, much faster than me. But the one that stands out is lacking memory. The authors say without the ability to continue.
No, which I think is part of the point, though, right? Like, you know, I tend to not believe that such a thing exists. Any of them, any of the alleged 4,200 or however many it is. You know, I know, but it's fun. It's content. This is content.
Continually learn. AI systems suffer from amnesia, which limits their utility, forcing the AI to relearn context in every interaction. What I would add to that is that because every bit of context adds to the cost of a call to a model, these providers deliberately limit the amount of context that models take in. So they often make huge blunders because they just don't understand the situation. If you spent more money on more context, they'd understand more of the situation, but again, they wouldn't remember it next time. One is a fundamental limitation, one is a question of cost. But will we soon have a solution to the fundamental limitation, continual learning? Well, that's the quote I want to get to. On that nasty cliffhanger, I'm going to bring you today's sponsor, a longtime sponsor of the channel, Assembly AI, and specifically their universal streaming tool, because I think it's pretty epic. Did you know how accurate these tools have become? For example, it was only recently that certain rival tools couldn't understand when I said things like GPT-5 Pro. They just wouldn't get those letters right, especially in my accent. Now, as you can see, they handle it flawlessly. I think that's incredible. And the link to this, by the way, is going to be in the description. I follow AI relentlessly and, of course, test almost everything that comes out, and I didn't know.
Only briefly, in that it's only available on Mac OS, and, you know, so, like, I can't try it.
These tools had gotten this good, frankly. That was also really fast. I don't know if you noticed that. But anyway, link in the description. Now, on that quote, this is OpenAI's VP of Research, Jerry Tworek. I think it's his first interview, but he mentioned something quite crucial around 58 minutes. But first, some context. Before we even hear from him, what are some of the obvious limitations of continual learning? Well, the model providers wouldn't be in control of what the models were learning. Like, imagine GPT-6 truly understands your app from the ground up, or maybe your exam from the ground up. Then, on the job, it bakes that into its weights, so you never have to tell it again. That's amazing.
Yeah, I feel you. Like, on one hand, you have people who are anti-AI, and they're not going to talk about the AI positively or negatively. They're going to just tell you that it's bad and you shouldn't use it and you should feel bad for using it. And then there's going to be the AI boosters. And someone will be talking about personal privacy in AI products, but their discoverability is going to be incredibly low.
Amazing, right? But if we do that naively, then you can imagine all kinds of sick things that people train the models to learn.
Is there a concept of, I guess, online RL that happens where as the agent does something and learns from the real world?
And speaking of privacy, there's a link in front of you right now for Proton Pa. You can save 50% off the yearly rate, which is under $30. And if you do, some of those funds come to your favorite streamer. Or me. Maybe not your favorite streamer. So click that link now and support your favorite streamer, me, and get yourself some privacy-related services.
the RL happens in real time?
So in general, like all of RL is
like literally out of all the people. I mean, I guess you could have said Asmund, but Hal Sparks, Fred, really, Hal Sparks.
happening. Like most of RL that you hear talk to language models is online, but it's done online in a way that is still a training run. It's still being trained like kind of separately from the user. There have been a few models in the world, and I've learned recently that I think Cursor is trying to train some models online with their users in the loop, and it is theoretically possible to train models again in ChatGPT or every other product, just responding to the users and reinforce through whatever rewards you get in there. But this is not what I am aware, at least like not what OpenAI is doing at the moment, and it's can be great, but it can be also dangerous because you are not really very much controlling what you are reinforcing in that.
Yeah, old lobster, but like in the same way that the entire conversation around data is beyond the capacity of anyone to really have anymore, like we're so far down the road of convenience over security that it's just nothing it's not going to change.
Loop and what could happen. So at least until we have a really good safeguards, I don't think we should try to do that in anything like as complex and large scale as ChatGPT.
Let me know in the comments if you can see an obvious way around that limitation. I hope I've at least convinced you that we live in pretty weird
Based on the visual elements, this appears to be a phrenological chart, likely a popular 19th century illustration called The Temple of the Mind. Yeah, I don't want to link to phrenology. Temple of the Mind, phrenology. Yeah, it's none of those things. It's wrong. It's hallucinating. It doesn't know what it's talking about. I think it's difficult for it to see the image. Or maybe not. That does kind of look like a brain. I don't know. Shit, it's 8:04. I have to away. I will be back on Saturday. I have to go pick up the wife now. Or soon. Sound like Peacefire now. I hope to see all of you on Saturday at around 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll probably go longer then. And we can get into even more stuff. Take care of yourselves. Don't let the bastards get you down. And in the meantime, drink your water, eat some food, take your meds if you forgot. And always remember that Shaggy loves you. So do I. Be great.